Okay, hey everybody, welcome to my video on Jedi Fallen Order, how to cheat it. If it's a fairly difficult game, if you've never done it, or if you've never used a cheat engine before, I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you how to find values for your health or anything else, and then how to find a pointer so that you don't lose the value every time you start the game up. First thing you'll need is cheat engine, and if you have never used cheat engine and you don't have it, you can go to their website, which here is cheatengine.org. It's made by a guy named Darkbite, pretty awesome dude. Yeah, just all-around great guy, helps out a lot in the forum, so if you want to donate to them, feel free. Not saying you have to or anything, but first thing you want to do is select your game here in the processes menu, and you'll basically just do that, and you won't have a list of cheats like I do right away. I just already had these tables set up, and as you can see, I've got my health and my force values already, and the two addresses that you see there are actually pointers. You can tell that because there's a P and then it points to a number. And essentially, with the health that I have, with the progress I made in the game, it's 250 is my max health and 205 is my max force. Typically, when you start the game, they start out as 100 and 100, but you don't know that. So what you end up doing is an unknown initial value scan, which is really the way to go. Now, I'm going to also make an assumption here. So, if you typically... And in a game that has health bars or experience bars or anything like that, like at the top right, I've got a bar, they're going to typically use a float. And the reason I do that, I believe, is so that the bars are used as a percentage. So that from there to there is going to be 0 to 100%. So essentially, you use a float for a percentage, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to choose a float as my value type, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my unknown initial value scan. Here we go. Yep, I screwed it up. Forgot to choose unknown initial value. And now I did it right. And okay, so we got a bunch of values, and we're going to get back into the game. Now, what we need to do is lose some health. So if I jump down a pit here, I will lose a little bit of health. So there you go. Switch back over to cheat engine, and you can see I've lost health. So I'm going to go to decreased value, because the value is obviously decreased. Unless the designers are being tricky, which I'm pretty sure they're not. But there you go. So I've got a lot of different values here, and you can see that the red ones are, basically if it's red, it means the value changed from the last time it scanned. So I'm going to do an unchanged value scan a bunch of times, and as you see, that drops off about half the addresses that are obviously not the right ones. So do that a bunch of times, and then we'll go back into the game, jump down the pit again, and lose a little bit more health. So there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and do another decreased value scan. Great, down to 126,000, so that's pretty good drop down. And then some more unchanged value scans, and halves the number yet again. And then we're going to lose a bit more health, and then do another decreased value scan. And basically we're going to repeat this until we can actually, get the value that we need. Now, we still have a lot of options here. Now, if you were playing the game normally, you wouldn't have this much health. You would probably be dead by now. But I've got enough health. But there is something you can do, and there's a kind of reason why I picked this spot. There's other spots similar to this. I mean, obviously there's a lot of places you can fall off in this game. If you've played it at all, you know that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to go to the save point, or the meditation spot, whatever they call them in this game. And I'm just going to hop in, and I'm going to rest, and that'll increase my health value. There we go, rested. And go back into the normal game, and now we'll do an increased value, obviously. And there we go, down to 334 results. So pretty good drop again. At this point, you can start to look through and see if you see any values that kind of stand out. And, me looking through this, I would see one right here that stands out, obviously, because that's, a whole number. So I would be curious about that value. And I see another one there is like 16,000. So there's another one. And you see a few ones and zeros, some whole number ones. So you think maybe that could be it. Maybe the game uses like a 1 and the decimals go, or the fraction or something, right? But, I mean, we know what the value is, but, yeah, we'll go in here, lose a little bit of health. There we go, lost some health. Do another decreased value. Okay, down to 63 options, and then, okay, we got 210. That's, that makes sense. Then an 84. If you maybe had, if you were at full life and, starting the game out, you might be able to rationalize that, 84 means that your health went down. Now it's down again. So it's okay, well, let's give that value a test. Change it to 100 and see if that, puts our health back to 100. Nope, it doesn't. So we know that that's not the correct value. So what we'll do is try that other value we saw, which was the 130, I think, and then we'll switch that to 250 and see if that fills our health back up. Yeah, it does. So obviously that's the value. So cool, figured it out. And I'm just going to kill this guy because, I need him out of my way for the next part here. Oh no, I'd failed to dodge or block, whatever. This game's so challenging. It is kind of fun watching some of these scenes play out, though. Back to this, we'll change our value to max health, and then freeze the value. Just kind of demonstrating here that you can change the different values, and your health will change as well. But anyway, we freeze the value to 250, which is maximum health for me right at the moment, and jump down a pit, and as you can see, the health kind of dips down and then goes right back up. So we know we have the right value, and we know we have everything set the way it's supposed to be. Now, there are some other things that you can think about here, and number one is that you will eventually run out of, if you stop the game right now, if you were to turn the game off and then bring it back, that value would change. That address would be in a different memory location. So what you need to do is you need a pointer scan. So you right click and go to pointer scan for this address. You'll get this window, and you can leave just about everything at the defaults. The one thing you gotta check is make sure the number of threads running matches how many processor threads you have, and the max level, I usually go with something like 7, because that means essentially just how many layers deep your pointer is going to go, how many offsets it can have, and 7 is usually a pretty good number. And when you hit OK, it's going to ask you to save. Give it, whatever name makes sense for you, and then you just let it do its pointer map generation. This first part is just the game generating as many pointers, or just kind of looking at how many pointers there are in memory, and then it's going to go back and scan through those to find the ones that match the value that you've picked. And it's almost done. There it is. Okay. So now there it goes scanning. Sometimes it takes a while. In this case, it was pretty quick. And you can see I've got a lot of different pointers. Any one of these pointers will actually function and work, but not all of them will actually work once you close the game or restart your computer and bring the game back. So what you want to do is basically restart your computer, then come back into the same menu. You can go to File, Open the scan, and then go to Rescan Address, click Value to Find, change it to whatever type of value you have, in this case float, and do 250 for the value it's looking for, because that's what we know our health is. And then you'll have to save it again. I like to save them incrementally, just so I know, at what level I'm on. And then there you go, you have less options here. And these pointers should work better than on the list that they gave before, because some of those obviously didn't work. And that's basically it. If you do that a few times, you'll be able to just, have a whole set of pointers, and you don't actually need to scan for the list anymore, or scan for the addresses anymore. So you can actually come in here, right-click, pointer scan, and bring stuff up. And if you want, I can just let you use this pointer. This should be a good pointer right here, depending on which version of the game you're on. But you can basically copy this box right here. And if you copy everything in that box, and then you add up all the offsets, which, you won't have all those offsets to begin with. You'll have to click the Add Offset button, like that, and then you'll be able to get an extra offset. You want to have 7 of them for the 7 different offsets, but you basically match the screen up just like you see it here. You can change the description to whatever you want. It doesn't have to say health, but I mean, that's what it is. So yeah, match that up the same, and then hit OK, and you'll get a pointer just like what I have right there. And this is the one for force. Same deal, just put that address in, and then put in all those offsets, and then you'll be all set, and you should be able to basically have the same pointer, the same address every time you start the game up. And you can just save that in your cheat tables, and it'll open up whenever you open or whenever you attach the process, just like I did. One other thing I'm going to show you, just kind of a bonus, is how to circumvent the whole entire freezing the value process. So, yep, our health code is still working like it should. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and show you kind of how you can do some coding in assembly to take out the damage effect. So what you want to do is you want to find out what writes to this address, and I'm going to try, yes, you need to attach debugger, and I'm going to try to find out what writes to this pointer first, because that might actually work. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Alright, I got hit, so I can stop and look, and nope, no events, so not that. So I'm going to go back to find out what writes to this address, and the address pointed out by this pointer. That makes more sense. And there we go, I got hit a couple times, and let's see, yep, got 2 instances of damage. That makes sense. And what I can do is I can go and show that in disassembler. Well, I'll just replace with code that does nothing to begin with, just to see what happens. Hit OK, and Cheat Engine will automatically take that code and nop it out, which means it just basically replaces it with code that does nothing, like it says. And you can come back in here and right-click and go restore the original code if you want to bring it back to how it was. But this is only for the current game. It's not for every game after. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and nop out the code and see what the effect is here. I've unchecked my freeze on the value. As you can see, I'm not even taking damage anymore. Interestingly enough, neither are the enemies. So none of the enemies are taking damage either. Unless, oddly enough, it's a thing that would kill them in one hit. So if I kill them in one hit, then it will kill them. So for bigger enemies, this is bad, because you will just never end the fight. For anything else, I just don't take damage, which is kind of cool. So there's that. I guess this would be kind of cool for like a training mode that you could like make for yourself. Because then you could just keep, doing things and never take damage, and just keep on practicing your dodge and all that stuff, which I guess it's got its uses. But if you would normally kill the thing in one hit, like I did right there, then it will still die. Curious if it works with a shield, because I don't know. We'll see. Come over and just run up and see if I can break his shield still. Yep, still can, so okay. And still kill him in one hit, so alright. So yeah, so that's one way of doing things. I don't think that's, a good way of doing it. There's another way to do it, where you can actually mess with that code to the point where it only has effect if certain values are met. And it's too much to go into in this particular video, but yeah, that's pretty much it. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope you found this helpful. Hope you were able to, have a little bit more joy with this game now. It's kind of a hard game, but whatever. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of cool stuff, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, go ahead and try not to die.